She stood at her window, watching the street below, feeling the weight of everything that had happened in the past week. She had always been a strong, independent girl, her long chestnut hair flowing like a cascade down her back. Her life was structured: work, evenings spent with friends, and weekends with her boyfriend, but everything had changed so quickly. She was 22 years old, living on her own for the first time in a cozy little apartment. She worked at a local coffee shop, a job she enjoyed because of the steady routine and the familiar faces she saw every day. Her friends were an important part of her life. They would meet up after work, share stories about their day, and laugh over drinks at their favorite spot. But lately she'd been withdrawing from them. Something felt off. A gnawing suspicion that something in her life was about to crumble. And it did. It was last Friday when she decided to follow him. He had been acting strange for weeks now, avoiding her calls, making up excuses not to see her, and being secretive with his phone. She told herself it was all in her head, that she was just being paranoid, but deep down she knew something was wrong. So she followed him after work, keeping her distance but staying close enough to see where he was going. She spotted him outside a small cafe, sitting with another girl. The girl had short, edgy hair, an undercut pixie, shaved on the sides with longer strands falling messily over one eye. They were laughing, leaning into each other, and when he kissed her, it felt like a knife through her chest. She couldn't believe it. Her boyfriend, the man she had loved for over a year, was with someone else. Heart pounding, she stepped out from her hiding place and confronted him. "What the hell is this?" He froze, the smile dropping from his face, and the girl turned to look at her, not saying a word. "You're cheating on me?" Her voice was trembling, tears welling up in her eyes. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this, but I'm not in love with you anymore." Her heart shattered right there. She glanced at the other girl, who sat there calmly, almost like she had expected this. The girl's hairstyle seemed to mock her, that bold, rebellious, undercut pixie. It screamed confidence, something she didn't feel in that moment. She choked out, "How long?" "A few months," he admitted, looking away. I'm sorry. She went home that night, collapsing onto her bed, sobbing until she had no tears left. Days passed, and she barely left her apartment. Her friends tried calling, but she ignored them, not ready to explain the pain she was going through. The betrayal was too raw, too deep. But as the days turned into a week, something shifted inside her. She stared at herself in the mirror one morning, her long hair still tangled from sleep. She felt sick of it. Sick of everything. That girl with the undercut pixie had been so bold, so fearless, and here she was, drowning in her own sadness, unable to move forward. She grabbed a pair of scissors from the bathroom drawer. It started with a small snip at first, hesitant, but then, fueled by her pain and anger, she hacked off a large chunk of her hair. It fell to the floor in uneven strands, and for the first time in days, she felt a strange thrill. Over the next week, she became obsessed with changing her look. Every day, she chopped off more and more of her hair. It was liberating, watching her old self disappear. The long, flowing locks that had once been her pride were now scattered in the sink, on the floor, and in the trash. She didn't care anymore. She wanted to feel different, to be different. The first extreme cut she gave herself was a jagged bob. It wasn't clean, and it wasn't perfect, but that's exactly what she liked about it. It felt raw, like her emotions. After that, she couldn't stop. The next day, she shaved the sides of her head, creating a rough undercut. It was uneven, but the wildness of it gave her a strange sense of power. One afternoon, as she sat in front of the mirror, scissors in hand, she caught herself smiling. This wasn't just about the hair anymore. This was about reclaiming control, about letting go of the past, of the hurt, and transforming into someone new. By the end of the month, her hair was nothing like it had been before. She had dyed it a shocking shade of purple, with streaks of electric blue running through the tips. After transforming her look into increasingly extreme styles, Emily found herself drawn to bolder and wilder expressions of her newfound freedom. The purple and blue streaks in her hair were just the beginning. One night, she stood in front of her bathroom mirror, gazing at her reflection. Her once long chestnut hair had evolved into something fierce and untamed, but it still didn't feel wild enough. "I want more," she whispered to herself. With renewed determination, she grabbed her clippers and with steady hands shaved the sides of her head completely, leaving a bold, striking strip of hair running down the center. It was a full-on mohawk. As she ran her fingers through the thick, spiked hair, a rush of excitement coursed through her. The intensity of the style mirrored her emotions. Raw, unapologetic, and powerful. Emily's journey wasn't just personal anymore. Along with each drastic haircut, she had been posting pictures on social media, sharing her transformation and her thoughts on heartbreak and betrayal. At first, it was a cathartic release. The captions on her posts were raw and emotional, talking about the pain of being cheated on and how she was reclaiming her identity through her wild new look. To her surprise, the pictures started gaining attention. Lots of attention. People she didn't even know began commenting on her photos, telling her how brave and beautiful she looked. Strangers were reaching out, saying boldness. Some even shared their own stories of heartache, telling her how her posts inspired them to move on and find themselves. "Wow, you look amazing." One comment read, "That mohawk is fire. Keep being you." Another chimed in, she hadn't expected this. What began as a personal outlet for her pain had turned into a platform of empowerment. She started gaining followers. Hundreds at first, then thousands. People were captivated by her fearless transformations, especially her daring mohawk and vibrant hair colors. She found herself in a strange new world, where instead of feeling broken and defeated, she was praised for her boldness. The girl who once cried over a cheating boyfriend was now the center of attention, admired by many. As her follower count grew, so did the demands. "Post more pictures. We need more videos of that amazing hair. You're such an inspiration, please share more." Emily started experimenting even further with her look. She dyed her mohawk in neon shades: hot pink, electric blue, fiery orange. Every week she posted a new look, sharing her creative process and the emotions behind each transformation. She even started sharing short clips of herself styling the mohawk, spiking it up with gel, or adding unique patterns to the shaved sides. People loved it. Her inbox was flooded with messages from followers who couldn't get enough of her evolving style. Then, one day, she received a message that would change everything. It was from a well-known advertising company that specialized in edgy, avant-garde fashion and beauty products. They had been following her for a while, fascinated by her bold looks and the story behind them. They wanted to collaborate. "Hi, Emily." The message began, "We love your unique style and the powerful message you're sending through your social media presence. We'd love to offer you a partnership to represent our new line of hair care and beauty products. If you're interested, we'd like to discuss the details of a monthly sponsorship with a salary of $4,000 per month. We think your mohawk and colorful hair perfectly represent our brand's fearless, rebellious spirit." Emily stared at the message in shock. $4,000 a month. Just for continuing to do what she had already been doing? It seemed too good to be true. But there was one catch. They wanted her to keep the mohawk and continue dyeing it in bold, vibrant colors. The company believed that her signature look was part of what made her stand out, and they wanted her to maintain that same edgy image for their brand. She thought about it for a moment. The mohawk had started as a symbol of her reclaiming control over her life, and she had grown attached to it. It represented her strength, her refusal to be broken by betrayal. But could she commit to keeping this look? This version of herself? For months, maybe even longer, she picked up her phone and texted her best friend. "I got an offer from a company to sponsor me for $4,000 a month, but I have to keep my mohawk in the crazy colors. What do you think?" Her friend replied almost instantly, "Are you kidding? That's amazing. You love your mohawk anyway. And you've been having so much fun with the colors. Plus, that's a ton of money. Go for it." Emily thought about it again. This mohawk wasn't just a hairstyle anymore, it was an identity, a badge of survival. She had been using her transformation as a way to heal, but now it was becoming something more. With a deep breath, she typed out her response to the company. "I'm in. Let's do it." Over the next few months, Emily's life changed in ways she could never have imagined. She became the face of the brand, appearing in photo shoots and promotional videos, showcasing her mohawk and vibrant hair colors. Her followers continued to grow, and she was now known as a bold influencer who wasn't afraid to take risks. But the best part, for the first time since the breakup, she felt like she was in control. She wasn't that heartbroken girl anymore, crying over a cheating boyfriend. She was stronger now, more confident, and she had turned her pain into power. Emily smiled as she posted another picture of her brightly colored mohawk, this time with a caption that simply read, "Rebirth."